Silence, not emptiness, not weakness, but strength in its purest form. In a world that screams for attention, the person who remains silent becomes the loudest voice in the room. This is the secret the Stoics knew well. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca. They all wielded silence not just as a shield, but as a sword, a weapon of intellect, of control, of wisdom. This is not about being mute. It's about mastering the art of when to speak, how to speak, and most importantly, when not to. Because in that pause, that stillness, lies influence, clarity, power. This is the way of the Stoic. The modern world is noisy. Social media, news, gossip, everyone wants to be heard. But the problem is, few have anything meaningful to say. The Stoic understands, not all noise is communication. Much of it is confusion, projection, insecurity trying to wear a mask of confidence. To remain silent in such a world is not to disconnect. It is to filter, to be intentional, to choose depth over volume. While others shout their opinions, the Stoic listens, observes, measures, and speaks only when the words add value, not clutter. We think silence isolates us, but in truth, it frees. It removes us from the circus and places us firmly on the path of insight. In this world, the one who talks less often sees more, learns more, understands more. Seneca once wrote, "Speech is a mirror of the soul as a man speaks." So is he. But what does it say about the man who speaks little? Discipline, control, strength. To stay silent when provoked takes far more inner power than to explode in anger. Silence is a sign of a man who has mastered his emotions, not the one mastered by them. In fact, every moment of silence is an opportunity to conserve energy, redirect thought, and strategize action. When others give into outbursts, the Stoic becomes more rooted. Silence isn't about cowardice. It's about courage. The courage to sit with discomfort, to face internal turmoil without needing validation. And the more a person strengthens this muscle of restraint, the more they radiate unshakable presence, one that speaks louder than words ever could. Here's the irony: people expect you to react. When you don't, they get uncomfortable, confused, intrigued. The Stoic knows this, and he uses it. In a heated debate, he stays calm. In an argument, he listens. In chaos, he slows down. This confuses people because it breaks their script. Most people argue to win. The Stoic doesn't argue because he already has. Every outburst they were prepared for falls flat. And now they're off balance. The power dynamic shifts. They think, why isn't he reacting? Doesn't he care? Is he hiding something? And in that confusion, the Stoic becomes unpredictable, mysterious, powerful. Silence isn't passive, it's active listening. And listening is one of the most powerful tools in any interaction. When you stay quiet, you give others room to reveal themselves, their flaws, their insecurities, their true thoughts. While they talk, you gather. While they expose, you prepare. It's in silence that you observe what others miss, micro-expressions, inconsistencies, hesitation. The Stoic listens with the intent to understand, not to respond. This alone elevates him above the noise. Most people listen to reply. The Stoic listens to read, to decode, to understand not just the words, but the intentions behind them. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. Walk away, not because you are weak, but because you are wise enough to know some battles aren't worth fighting. A Stoic doesn't waste time explaining himself to people committed to misunderstanding him. He walks in silence and lets his actions speak for him. Walking away without a word creates a lasting impact. It ends the drama. It signals you're above it. It's a message: I owe you nothing. My silence is your answer. And people remember that silence longer than any argument. External silence means nothing if your internal world is in chaos. The Stoic knows this. To be truly silent is to quiet the inner noise, the fears, the overthinking, the endless internal dialogue. Marcus Aurelius would write in his journal to remind himself that peace comes from within, not from changing the world around him. Through meditation, journaling, reflection, the Stoic creates space within, so that even in the middle of conflict, his internal silence is unbroken. It's not about suppressing emotions. It's about mastering them, not through avoidance, but through awareness. To silence your mind is to become the eye of the storm, the calm that holds everything together. Silence is not about never speaking. It's about choosing the right moment to speak. And when you do, people listen, because you've built a reputation of depth, of thoughtfulness. You don't waste words. So when you speak, it matters. Like a well-placed punch after a series of fights, your words hit harder because they were earned, not sprayed out of insecurity, but delivered with intention. In war, timing is everything. The same goes for speech. Too soon and you seem impulsive. Too late and you seem indifferent. But at the right time, you seem wise. And the Stoic knows when to strike. In personal relationships, silence plays a different but equally vital role. Not every argument needs a response. Not every emotional wave needs a reaction. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is remain quiet, listen, and offer space. The Stoic doesn't fight to be right. He fights to be understanding. And often, silence is the first step toward empathy. In that silence, you learn. You hear what's not being said. And that knowledge allows you to act with wisdom, not emotion. Silence during tension prevents damage. It creates a pause where reflection can enter, where heat can cool, where hearts can soften. People fear what they don't understand, and they respect what they can't predict. When you're always talking, always sharing, always explaining, you become predictable, transparent, ordinary. But the silent man, he's a mystery. People wonder what he thinks, what he feels, what he knows. And that curiosity turns into respect, or even fear. This doesn't mean hiding who you are. It means protecting your inner world like a fortress. Let people earn the privilege of knowing you. Maintain depth. Show flashes of it. Let your presence suggest more than your words ever could. There are moments when words would only weaken your position. When silence, held long enough, becomes a powerful message. Disrespect, respond with silence. Betrayal, step back in silence. Injustice, choose when to speak. And when your silence can cause more reflection than protest. The Stoic knows not every moment calls for reaction. Some demand restraint. And in that restraint lies immense power. The silence after an insult, the pause after a lie, the quiet after a storm. These are moments when power shifts, and the Stoic holds it in silence. The Stoic is not weak. He is not passive. He is not afraid to speak, but he understands the sacred value of silence, of listening, of watching, of choosing. While others scramble for attention, the Stoic commands it through presence, through calm, through silence, because silence is power, and those who master it rule themselves, outsmart others, and walk through life with quiet, unshakable strength. Let your silence be your confidence. Let it confuse them. Let it empower you. This is the Stoic way.